during Ramadan. What the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, instructed us to do during Ramadan. Stay tuned daily in Ramadan for the revelation on Nile TV International.
Now it's time to learn more about social marketing, to know its definition and its methodology as well. And joining us right now in the studio is Dr. Nermin Ahmed, and she's a marketing and communications consultant. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. And whenever we talk about marketing, we have to understand also that it is part of our daily life, actually, because marketing and communication, it all has to do with our behavior, with our routine, with our everything that has to do with our daily life. So maybe first of all, it is important to talk or to define what is the social marketing, and then we can talk about it in more details.
Yes, sure. Actually, social marketing is it's an art and science. It's more or less like the commercial marketing, yet here the objective is different. We want to change or to maintain a behavior for the individual for the sake of the society as a whole and the community. This is the very simple definition of marketing.
Yes.
Social marketing, actually.
Yes. What are the tools that you use in it?
Actually, more or less, it is the same methodology for the commercial marketing. Yet here, the first thing you have to identify what is the behavior you want to change. It's not that easy, and it takes time because changing the behavior is the hardest thing you can do. Actually, when you are selling any product or any service, it's easier for anyone. Yet here, because it is based on the values and attitudes, so you have to change the attitude first and then change the behavior. So first you identify the behavior you want to change. Secondly, identify the people you want to go and change with them, which is called the target segment, exactly. And then you go and see what are the obstacles, why they are doing this behavior you want to change, and how hard it will be for us, and the obstacle we will face when we are wanting to alter or change this behavior or maintain what they are doing.
Let's talk about the methods that we can apply, because, you know, if you are promoting for something from scratch, this is going to be much easier. But the point is how to direct people from one thing to the other, especially that if they are attached to a certain behavior,
yes,
they are much more interested. You can never change them easily. And one of the challenges when it comes to marketing or to development in general, it is the resistance of change, to work on it.
Yes.
So let's talk about the methodology you can apply, and because definitely they will be biased to what they want, and there is a sect that says actually that if you are biased to something, you're not going to hear or listen to or understand,
yes,
except what you are listening to. So how can you work on it?
Yes. Actually, when we are promoting for the marketing, we use our tools like advertising, public relations, direct marketing, e-marketing now. Here, it's different. Actually, you go deeper into the human being and why he's doing this. Is it because of the culture? Is it because, for example, word of mouth, negative word of mouth, or a positive word of mouth from a family member, for example? So it's a culture thing, and they've been working on this for a very long time. So that's why it's very hard. So what we do is to discover why first they're doing this. And for example, if we are doing a campaign for prenatal counseling, so if pregnant women has to go and check with their doctors, you have to know why they don't go. Is it because it's far from their places? Is it because the doctor is a male and she is a female? Is it because they are afraid of going alone, for example? You have to, is it far from their homes? So when you're discovering why they do not, what are the obstacles, they are not applying what we are doing, okay, this is the first thing to identify. Secondly, we have to close all these obstacles for them or make their life easier. And for example, if it is because they work in the morning and they don't have time to go to the governmental hospitals, so we can extend this. If it is because he's a male, we can always do this via the nurse, and especially the prenatal or female, because sometimes in the small villages it's only males. Okay, so we have to think how they think. We have to know how do they think, and we have to cover this accordingly. And we have not only this, you have to maintain what we have asked them to do, and they have to discover what's in it for them. Why should I change my behavior? You have to change your behavior because you want to have a healthier kid. You want to have a kid that doesn't have any, for example, complications in the future. What's in it for me, or what's in it for her? This is very important for them to maintain what we agreed upon.
Now, to what extent is that science popular in Egypt? Do we have enough calibers to develop it?
Actually, there are few people who are working in the social marketing, and maybe they are not specialized. Maybe social workers are working on this, yet it has to come from social marketeer. Because if the social worker is doing this, he's going to do it only once. Yet in marketing, we learn and we teach that you have to maintain what you are doing. You have to make sure that people are doing what we agreed upon, and you have to review and control what you have agreed upon. So the community groups are working on this, NGOs are working, the public sector, public institutes are working on this, yet they're not all of them specialized in social marketing.
Talking about the challenges you are facing, and actually I know there are many things to talk about when it comes to the Egyptian society, because definitely this is going to be of great importance, as well as, or as long as we can feel that we have many challenges when it comes to our behavior. So do you think it is easy with the Egyptian society? I'm not talking also about remote areas. I'm talking about Cairo, for example. We have many actually attitudes and behaviors that we hope that we can just quit.
Yes.
Do you think this can be easy?
Everything can be done in life. And in marketing, if a social marketeer is handling this 100% and he has a plan to follow up and to go to empower people and to motivate them to complete what we agreed upon. Because when you announce, for example, a campaign for early detection of breast cancer, okay, so people are going to comply for the first week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then they will not keep on. Yet, if you are doing, for example, a free detection every month, okay, a discounted detection for a higher social class, for example, in some of the for ultrasound or mammogram centers, they're going to go. So you have to keep on putting KPIs of what you are doing. You have to control, you have to maintain, you have to empower people, you have to motivate them to go and comply. Yet if you are going to do only a quick fix thing, or only once a campaign on the advertising campaign on TV, and you think that people will comply, this is far beyond our expectation. Nothing will happen. It's only a week or two, and then it will go down. Yet you have to maintain this. It's hard, yet it can be achieved, actually.
Well, that's quite interesting, but I guess it's quite challenging as well, because especially in Egypt, with the lack of database for a lot of communities, even you won't find, some people are not even registered. So to be able to acquire a database to target a certain group, to what extent is that easy in Egypt?
Actually, there are lots of influencers in every place in Egypt. And for example, in small villages, if you go to the doctor who is in the village, in the governmental hospital, or they listen very well of what she is saying or he's saying. Actually, maybe sometimes some females who has influence in some places, so they will listen. And there is a database, and there is actually a very good database now. They have finished, I think, 2 months ago, the database of all the villages in Egypt.
Let me ask you about your own experience. What kind of challenges or behaviors that you worked on just changing, and what are the challenges that you faced?
Actually, I worked in some campaigns. Some of them are the early detection of breast cancer. It's because it is, I think, the second or third cause of death worldwide. And here in Egypt, the percent is getting increased. We worked on this like 8 years ago. The challenge was how to access people, okay? As you said, we only came to Egypt from the Cairo and Alex places. Yet we did not access everywhere. And this is what happens most of the time. That we do advertising campaign, and you have to know that advertising does not reach everyone. Sometimes some people in the villages, small villages, they do not have TVs. Some of them are watching channels which does not broadcast the campaign, right? Mm-hmm. Some of them cannot read. So if you are publishing things on the newspapers or billboards anywhere, so you are not doing nothing. So the point is we should not, make it centralized in Cairo and Alex to make it look like we are doing a campaign. No, you have to go to every place. Now we have a database so we can access. This was my challenge.
This will require new methods and techniques as well.
Yes. And only marketeers can do this because we know how to sell products, so we have to sell the idea here, to change the behavior. So we have to give people or empower people who are social marketeers, who I think there are few here, and let them work and finance them. And sometimes you don't have to finance, actually. There are lots of companies who has corporate social responsibility budgets. We can use this. Some of the community service bodies, they can help you in this. And they have the money and they have the people who can help you as well. So why not the government can integrate everything and start to get the resources from everywhere and then to put on track, and here are some of our social problems can be solved.
Now, how can we utilize social marketing to achieve the goals of our Sustainable Development 2030 goals?
Yes, this is an extremely good question. 2030, all the leaders worldwide, I think in last September in the UN in New York, they agreed that by 2030 there are 17 goals that should be achieved. One of them is fighting poverty, the second fighting hunger, good education, equality between gender, and these can, yes, you have to preserve your environment, your water. These cannot be achieved except by social marketing, by integrating the tools of social marketeers to go and change the behavior of people, or else it's going to be only on papers. We have to work hard, we have to work together, we have to maintain, we have to sustain, you have to empower, you have to motivate people, You have to give them money and make rules and regulations, not really money, and sometimes you have to empower people psychologically, yet you have to make rules and regulations for everything, and it will it will never happen except by social marketing.
So, talking about the challenges we are facing right now, for example, how can we use the social marketing in confronting all these challenges? Let me put it, for example, talking about climate change. About the problems we are talking about, the CO2 and the footprint, all of these things. And also talking about our, when it comes, for example, to water and electricity, for example, it has to do also with our behavior, because now we started to see some new terminologies like the prosumer, for example. We have to care, each one of us has a role to play. It is not only the government, it is rationalizing our usage of all the resources that we have. All these things actually are our behavior, and unfortunately the wrong behavior, that we have many wastes on our daily life. Do you think we can use social marketing in this?
Yes.
And how we can use it?
Actually, sometimes some people are confusing social marketing with pure advertising. On advertising, you're only saying the message, well, you want to preserve water, and this is advertising. Yet, when you use advertising in the social marketing, you have
changing behavior.
Yes, you have to use preserve water, because in 20, for example, 30, we might not have enough water for you to shower, to drink, to etc. So it's what's in it for them, and you have to keep on hammering. This is the point. You don't only do an advertising on TV, please preserve water. This is nonsense. And people will remember this only for a week, as I said earlier, or two, and then they're going to lose it, because there is water on the tap now. Yet, actually paying for water, is better. They have to tell them, you have to enforce them, or in the many capacitate or give them a quota for water, for electricity, and make it more expensive. This is part of, I think, a formula that will help people preserve water and electricity. Yet, you are right, there are lots of challenges, and it doesn't have only to have advertising. You have to have social marketeers going and hammering and keep on hammering and penalizing sometimes people. Yes.
Well, Doctor, actually, I'm going to ask you a more academic question about the basic 4 Ps for social marketing. Would you tell us about these, please?
Yes, sure. Here the product is, what are the behaviors we want to change, okay? The price is the cost of changing the behavior. How much the person who we want him to change the behavior is going to pay. Not only money, okay? And for example, if we want her to go and do a check, this is money. Yet in smoking cessation, for example, it's not money, it's psychological. So he's going to lose some of his friends because those are the smoking friends. He might psychologically have be uncomfortable, okay? So this is the cost. The place is what are the challenges and obstacles we are going to face while we are trying to change the behavior, and then the promotion is more or less the same. Yet, as I told you, it's not only leaving the message, please preserve water, please water is important. No, okay? This is an integrated communication, and here exactly one-to-one and word of mouth is very important more than the commercial marketing.
What are the latest techniques in social marketing? Because, well, in the past we used to talk about media. And I'm talking about media, it means I'm just talking about the basics, talking about ads, TV, something like this. And actually it is not anymore, I believe so, that we started to see some more tools, and just putting ads on TV, this will not bring the objectives that we are looking for. We started to see some new methods, whether we're talking about outdoor ads or many other tools. Could you tell us more about the up-to-date?
Yes. Actually, when you discover what you want to change first and who is your target segment, this is the most important thing. Accordingly, if your target segment are teenagers who are in international schools, for example, we are not going to use TV at all because they do not watch TV anymore. We might use the e-marketing, so everything they access the internet all day long. The social media here is very important as well. Yet if you are targeting people who do not see the TV as well, yet they cannot access it, right? You can go word of mouth. Okay, you can go to the influencers in the small villages. The influencers, maybe sometimes the religious part can work here very well. Okay, both for Christians and Muslims. So this is one part as well, word of mouth and one-to-one. We go as social marketeers to these people and we gather them. Maybe over lunch. Maybe lunch is not really over a table, a fancy table, or we can even sit with them on the floor and trying to discuss. We go and sit with them in the small hospitals or governmental hospitals and talk their language, okay, and tell them what's in it for them, what are the benefits that they're going to get out of this. And you have to keep, as I told you, you have to keep on following up with them to maintain what we agreed upon of changing the behavior.
Now, Doctor, as you've traveled, now was there a certain case where you found it quite challenging, and would you tell us about it? And how did you manage to change their attitude?
Actually, where I travel and teach, or example, or I consult.
Or your campaigns. Any of your experience.
Yes, vaccines sometimes. Some places here. Sometimes some small villages, they do not do vaccinations, okay? And sometimes they are afraid because the people who are saying that if you vaccinate your kids, they're going to get the disease and they might die. So these things are here in Egypt. In not all Egypt, of course, in some places. So you have to dig for information. Why this is their attitude? Because their grandma said so, because her aunt said so, because one of the kids got vaccination and then they died. You never know what happened. In order for you to change the behavior, you have to know why they are behaving now, this behavior, and why they are resisting, and how to, and you have to, it has to come from there, as if you are coaching, actually, coaching and counseling.
Talking about all the challenges again that we are facing, so how can we seek the help of social marketers, especially that marketing in general in Egypt has always been, we have challenges actually, because even sometimes people cannot differentiate between the marketeer and the sales, for example, and this is something of great importance in general. How can we seek the help of social marketeers? Because definitely they will be very important in our lives, especially now.
Actually, we have to know that we need social marketeers first. The government has to know.
Yes.
So the government. The entities. Yes, the community. Even the community partners we have here. There are lots of them. They have to know that we need a social marketeer to help them. And actually, I work with some. I'm a member of one of the community groups, and what we do is we donate money, and we go, for example, and give it to people who need this money. We bring a big apparatus for a hospital or whatever. Yet we are not integrated all together. We do just quick fixes, which is not right. So your question is extremely important. First, they have to discover that we need social marketeer. Social marketeers are not really available yet. Any marketeer can get this part and be professional. I myself can help this for free. Anything for the government, I don't really hesitate. I will never hesitate helping the country. And once you discover, you have to announce for people who can help, that you can go part-time or you can go. My social responsibility toward my country is to help. Why not to donate some of the hours of my work, okay, or once a week or whatever is the need. And we can do this, anything for Egypt.
Well, you've mentioned that you're part of an NGO, and now
it's not an
or
NGO,
a community
actually.
service.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, for the community service groups, organizations, or groups, as well as the NGOs, do you feel that actually the government is giving them enough space and facilities to operate in this society?
Actually, I don't have any details yet.
From your experience, your small
yes, from my,
experience.
we have, actually we are doing good things. We do not interfere in anything. We do not collect data. We do not do anything. We just donate for people, so that we don't have any conflict with the government.
Are you considering expanding your community service projects?
Actually, I started already part of my community service. I did already, and I'm keeping on doing a sustainable development awareness campaign. Actually, for my community, for our friends, for our community service team, I started even in Cairo University giving sessions for sustainable development.
Yeah. So what was the feedback when you gave that lecture in
They are
Cairo
very
University?
happy. Okay, people are aware now, and I gave them, and they promised actually that they will be our ambassadors in their houses with their families to keep up the sustainable development goals going.
Well, Dr. Nermin Ahmed, marketing and communications consultant, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank
Under
you.
this, we come to the end of our breakfast show for today. Thank you very much for joining us. Remember to join us tomorrow with our colleagues for more on the breakfast show. Till then, thank you for joining us. You were in the company of Rasha Modi and Nashwa Rashid. Thanks for watching.
من صور وصور السن